On December 20th, 2022, Jupiter will change signs and move into Aries. Now, this is not the first time that Jupiter has moved into Aries or ingress into the sign. So, Jupiter first entered the sign on May 10th, 2022. Then, on July 28th, it stationed retrograde in Aries. And then on October 28th, it re-entered Pisces until it entered Pisces again for the last time on October 28th. It continued to move retrograde until November 23rd when it stationed direct, and that was the day of the new moon in Sagittarius. And so from that point up to December 20th, Jupiter is direct in Pisces, but the days are limited because Jupiter is going to be moving on to a brand new chapter, to a brand new energy, a brand new cycle, a brand new sign. It's going to re-enter Aries fully on December 20th. It's going to be in Aries up until May 16th, 2022, when it moves into Taurus. And so Jupiter covers the entirety of the sign of Aries during that time period. So what I'm going to be doing on this video is giving you what it's about. Aries characteristics and traits, as well as the content and information over Jupiter and Aries. And things to keep in mind and things to be aware of, and how can you use this information and use this energy in this transit really productively and efficiently, and make the most of it, make something out of it, and take advantage of it as well. So Jupiter is all about growth. It's about happiness. It's joviality. It is lucky. Wherever Jupiter is in your chart, it shows you how you get your luck, how you find your luck. What do you need to do and where do you need to go in order to feel lucky? So it deals with good fortune. Opportunities with Jupiter, because it also deals with opportunities, miracles even. Jupiter is fun. It's about indulging and making the most of this life and really eating it alive. It's about, uplifting enthusiasm and expansion of growing from one experience, and then you're just growing and becoming wiser and more knowledgeable as you go through from one experience to another. And it's also about celebrating all of the abundance that is in store for you in your life, and making the most of it. And so Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So the sun transits through Aries, March 21st through April 20th. And and the North Node is going to be moving there in July of 2023, which is really, really exciting. And the North Node's our Northern Star, our destiny, where we need to head. And then Aries is going to be about the self and actualizing and being very assertive and self-motivated and living an authentic life. Sort of a little bit of a giveaway of what I'm going to be talking about here, but anyway. And so Aries is a sign of the warrior. Jupiter's going to be moving into Aries, the sign that, fights for what it wants, fights for what it needs. It's really going to go after, um, all those things, both wants and needs. And, it's not going to be, afraid to fight, not going to want to be inhibited or tied down or limited or, um, bossed around, what to do, because Aries wants to follow its own rhythm and, live its own independent life. And when you go your own way and when you do things independently, you might feel very lucky and, reap rewards, and there might be more abundance and blessings coming to your way if you go in a particular direction that Jupiter, whatever sign that is in it, invites you to go in, you know. So, Aries is the initiator. Starting new things is all about the fresh start of getting it off the ground, of having the, the stamina and the energy and just the exuberance of starting something and having the momentum, kind of like if the pioneer, because Aries is a pioneer energy, kind of like if you were to light a match and get the fire going. That's very Aries, especially because it's a cardinal fire sign, and cardinal fire signs are about leadership and initiating and taking charge and going your own way. It's get up and go energy. And Aries initiates the spring when everything's getting warmer and it's getting closer towards summer. So it starts things out. There's a lot of life coming out around that time, and it deals with independence of one person having the desire to do something and doing it, not sitting on that energy, but actually going out and moving energy, moving the physical body in a way, kind of pushing yourself to do it. And Aries is, a pusher, as well as Capricorn. And it's interesting that those two signs are square to each other, because they really have a lot to, teach each other, and very similar, but in different ways. Capricorn's, an earth sign. Aries is a fire sign. And, so around the time that Jupiter enters Aries, the sun's going to be moving into Capricorn pretty soon after that. And then the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere is going to be just a day after, on the 21st of December. And Aries really has a lot of energy and life force to it as well. Jupiter in Aries is really a time where people are probably going to be feeling the confidence and courage and the inner strength to, go after something. Because, it's the belief in yourself, it's owning yourself, and, being very self-oriented, and, focusing your, attention, your will, and, your brain and your, spirit and your heart on one direction, and being very focused on that. It also deals with motivation, drive, and commitment, which is more of, Capricorn's domain, which it deals with, sort of, I'm going to start at the bottom of the mountain and climb my way up and see it through. And Aries is, a fire sign, so it deals with passion, ambition, um, continuing to keep at it, and all those themes. So yeah, I believe that Aries can be quite, set on and, determined with something, and, finishing it. Um, and really, going in head first, because it's very head first energy. And, obviously, because Aries rules the head, that part of the body. So, and it's about taking action, starting that new thing. Is it a novel? Is it, a new YouTube channel? Is it a new life? Is it a new house? A new job? A new, um, what is it that you're just really excited about and really passionate and really, what lights you up and gets you out of bed in the morning, gets you really enthusiastic and filled with joy. Those are really, the things that are really worth doing, anytime, really, especially during this transit. Okay, so, Aries also deals with leadership, taking the reins of your own life, getting in the driver's seat and, driving, um, you know, your own life, steering your own ship, not letting others, take the lead and, um, you know, do for you, run your life. You are the one that, you know, runs, your life, and it's about taking advantage and living the best life that's most true to you, true to what you believe, true to your values, living a life that's really authentic to you. Um, and, it deals with self assertion as well and self direction. Um, Asserting yourself, standing up for yourself, and directing yourself in your own life. Um, and it deals with being brave and bold, taking on a challenge, not being afraid to do this or do that. And Aries is really encouraging you, to have, because you have a right. You were incarnated and born into this life for a reason, for a purpose. And Aries is inviting you, to be the individual and live the best life, really. So, and the other little phrase that comes to mind is no retreat and no surrender. It can be kind of a relentless sign in, fighting to the bitter end and not giving up till, whatever is done and done until you, get what you want or get what you need. And that can also sort of steer us into the downsides or the darker aspects of Jupiter and Aries, which can be aggression, more, um, people, showing, displaying their anger in maybe, graphic ways, more outward, maybe outbursts or people, um, you know, lashing out or, um, really, losing control of, your temper and losing your patience of wanting something, now. And, impatience is another thing with, whatever is in life that you need and want, and also others as well. And, being very impulsive is another downside, just jumping into something without considering it, without thinking about the consequences, without weighing out the pros and cons, without seeing if this is the right move to make. Arrogance as well, being very self-righteous and, I'm in control, I'm the boss, it's my way or the highway, I want what I want, and, um, don't forget to make the necessary compromises and consider the feelings of others, and be there for others, and exercise diplomacy when needed, and you know, being kind and considerate, and all those things need to be taken into account at this time. And so, defiance. Aries is sort of the child sign, because all the different signs correspond to different stages of life. And Aries is starts out the whole cycle, so can be linked to the infant. But mainly when it comes to defiance and rebelling, that's another downside. And war and violence, Jupiter makes things bigger, blows something up. It wants to just heighten something. And if you think about all the different aspects and the different sides of Aries, war and violence is one of them, because it is a Martian energy. It is ruled by Mars, and it is the planet of war and aggression, as well as self-assertion and selfishness, and being too focused on yourself. Be aware of where that can be destructive in your relationships with others, be it in your relationships at work, whatever it is. If you would, drive the wedge, or, sever or hurt a relationship by, offending someone, or being, too self-centered, tearing somebody down in order for you to get raised up, whatever it is. Um, don't I would advise you not to get so caught up in yourself and what you desire, that it isn't that's going to hurt others and hurt your relationships. And it's important to be blunt and direct, and be honest and genuine, and show integrity in who you are, but not to say anything offensive or hurtful, as well. And other downsides, is not considering other people's points of view or perspectives, and so um, you know it's important to also, because Aries is the opposite sign to Libra, and that has to do with collaboration, being very open-minded, and understanding the importance of balance and the value of relationships. So, where that needs to come into the picture, you'll know at whatever time in your life that those two energies of the Aries and Libra need to be in balance. So that is all that I want to say for this video. This is just, just the characteristics and traits, and information about Jupiter and Aries and what this transit is about. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and bye for now.